Hello, I'm Nicholas Henshall, I'm the Dean of Chelmsford, and this is my Dean's letter. Well, technically for yesterday for the 10th of April, but I'm actually broadcasting this on Sunday the 11th of April, so that's the date I put at the top of this stream. Typically I try to write these on Saturday morning, and then I also try and stream them on Saturday. That didn't work yesterday, and well, maybe it's obvious why, because as I say in the letter I'd intended to write turned out to be very different because of the events of Friday. I've called this Marking an Era, Celebrating the Life of Prince Philip. And if you receive this as an email or download it from the Cathedral website, you'll be able to see two pictures of the Queen and Prince Philip's visit to the Cathedral in May 2014, which seem to say something helpful to what I'm trying to say here. So, inevitably, following Prince Philip's death yesterday, or rather on Friday, when I wrote in terms of when I was doing this, what I planned to write has completely changed direction. And inevitably again, I'm going to start with some memories of May 2014, when we welcomed the Queen and Prince Philip here at Chelmsford Cathedral as part of the centenary celebrations for the Cathedral and the diocese. It was also an important marker in our civic life as a cathedral, the first royal visit since Chelmsford had become a city. You may know the history there, that when in 1914 Chelmsford and Bury St Edmunds were raised to cathedral status, the government said we can't possibly have such small villages in the east of England as towns, they probably said, as cities, so they broke the connection between having a cathedral and being a city. In a sense, the Queen's visit in May 2014 sort of renewed that and restored that in, I think, an important way. And again, the pictures here of the Queen processing in with the Duke of Edinburgh through the great west doors say something really important about what that day was all about. And so, on one level, on behalf of the whole community here at Chelmsford Cathedral, I simply want today to express my condolences following the death of Prince Philip. It's been an extraordinary life. I mean, I don't think I realised how extraordinary until I actually listened and read some of the obituaries. From his birth on the Greek island of Corfu in 1921 to his gentle death on Friday. An extraordinary life straddling an extraordinary century, which has witnessed two world wars, in the second of which, of course, Philip served with distinction in the Royal Navy, and a society that has changed increasingly rapidly over the last 70 years. Prince Philip's own identity, I find that fascinating. Greek by birth, Danish in his own self-understanding, and British by adoption. Ooh. Now that suggests to me something of the complexity that we know as a society today, and the changing world through which he has lived. Many tributes paid to Prince Philip over the last 24 hours have emphasised his role as a person well ahead of his time. This was genuinely new to me, certainly. I was fascinated by sections from speeches that he'd given about the environment, about animal welfare, and about the role of the private sector in a healthy society. They still sounded quite radical today, but the commentator pointed out that when Prince Philip first said these things 60 years ago, he was one of very few people in public life addressing these issues at all that have become so central to our thinking today. For all of us, our celebrations of Prince Philip's life inevitably centre on his profoundly supportive role as the husband of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Whatever insights we may feel we have had through documentaries, films and contemporary television series into the life of the royal family, there's also been a deeply private relationship in which his fundamental support for the Queen has been absolute and unwavering. In May 2014, when the Queen and Prince Philip visited Chelmsford Cathedral to celebrate our centenary year, it was a wonderful and memorable occasion with rich memories all round. But what I remember most today is Prince Philip's seriously dry sense of humour as we waited together in a small anteroom after the service in the cathedral and before meeting guests. That day, I saw above all his rounded humanity. Certainly a gift worth celebrating. God bless you, and maybe the letter I actually planned to write on Saturday will be what I do write next Saturday. We'll just have to see in the whole maelstrom of how one's brain works or ceases to work in this strange period when we are approaching some kind of changes in our society, but are also beginning in new ways to learn to live with the realities around us. Have a great week, and I may see some of you in the cathedral later today.